We know you need talent to colour match. But we also know there's even more to it than that. At Coats, it's our business, like yours, to find the perfect match. And how you look at colour, where you look at it, how you measure it. It's all a matter of science. And the results of colour science are everywhere you look. The eye and brain can distinguish over 10 million different colours. That's rather a lot of reasons why we need to get colour right. The science of colour began around 300 years ago with the study of white light. And it wasn't long after that, Coats opened for business. Today, we produce over 130,000 colours of thread a year. We have become industry leaders through pioneering research, making technical breakthroughs and setting industry standards. You'll find our famous threads and yarn just about everywhere. If you can wear it, walk in it, button it, zip it, stitch it, sit on it, lift off in it, or even land on Mars with it, chances are it's got Coats thread in it. Our advanced technology means we can perfectly replicate the same threads again and again. And all the information is transmitted digitally to our factories around the world. But we know matching our colour thread to a sample is critical to you. And the only way to get it right is to understand how the human eye sees colour in relation to light. Wavelengths of electromagnetic radiation are everywhere, but they're invisible to us. Except for one tiny part, known as the visible spectrum. This is the range that is visible to the human eye. When scientists originally looked at this visible spectrum, they discovered that it's actually made up of the colours of the rainbow, wavelengths of colour. As well as light, you need two other things to see colour: an object and an observer. When the light strikes off the surface of the object, it reflects back to our eyes, which leads to the sensation of colour. Inside the human eye, millions of light-sensitive cells react to three colours: red, blue, and green. But our ability to see the different colours in almost infinite combinations varies from person to person. It also depends on things like the number of cells we each have, how long we stare at a block of colour, and even simply how tired we may be feeling. Not only that, but because colour changes according to the amount of light reflected from the object, changing the light itself changes how we see colour. For all these reasons, colour is not constant. Sometimes what might look like a perfect match under one light source can appear different under another light source. It's a phenomenon called metamerism. Change the lighting and the colour changes completely. The complexity of colour requires very precise measurement to assess how different light sources reflect off an object. To ensure perfect colour matching, the experts at Coats use a piece of technology called a spectrophotometer, which simulates a human eye, to identify each colour's unique fingerprint. All this means that unless we view colour under the correct controlled conditions, there's always the risk that what we think we're seeing isn't actually true or accurate. If you choose to rely on the naked eye, random light sources and different backgrounds or angles of view when comparing a thread and sample, you may find that matching and colour assessment becomes unreliable. So, how do you get it right? To make your life easier, it makes sense to follow a few simple guidelines when colour matching. First, use a specialist lighting cabinet with a neutral grey background. Second, make sure that the light box is set to the exact light source specified by the retailer and stated by Coates in its supply specifications. Third, the sample and thread should be held at the correct angle of view of 45 degrees. Fourth, remember to change the light bulbs according to the manufacturer's instructions. Temperature and humidity can also affect how you see colour, so it pays to condition your room correctly. At Coates, we take this seriously and ensure all our samples are assessed in a correctly conditioned environment. And finally, if, like me, you've taken and passed the Munsell 100 hue test, then you'll be confident in your own eye's ability to assess colour properly. Coates threads are based on precise matching technology and years of knowledge in the field. When you apply science to assess our threads, you can be sure you're getting it right every time. Use colour science and our expertise. It's the perfect match because Coates knows colour.